Lots of tasty new boots coming out this week, plus a whole slew of heavyweight jackets and coats to take on winter. Thursday Boot Company just released a lugged sole version of their Diplomat mock toe. This is a welcome design, as I've always preferred a lugged mock toe over the far more common wedge sole. There are 3 leather options as of right now: Thursday's classic brown chrome leather plus tobacco rugged and resilient, and a cinnamon oil snuff suede. The oil snuff suede looks like an upgrade from Thursday's usual weather safe suede, and I noticed that neither the brown nor the cinnamon leathers have speed hooks on them, so these are definitely more like dressy style mock toes. Now, I haven't seen any of these in person, but it is definitely a cool looking style. I think cooler than the original Diplomat, and at $199, it's still a great price. Oak Street Bootmakers released a really interesting new leather. It's natural iron overdye. Basically, they've taken to using natural iron oxide pigments to overdye on top of Horween Chrome Excel rough out leather. Like with natural indigo or any other natural pigment, you don't get absolute uniformity, and that means the aging process is really unique. I'm super stoked on where Oak Street has been going the past several months. New ideas like this are really exciting. Now, I'm not sure exactly how this natural iron oxide overdye is going to age. No boots have been out for 6 months, but all signs point to this being a really special leather. Last week, I announced that Camel City Mill, this is a sock brand that I personally designed. Camel City Mill, we released the heavyweight in gray. So we have 2 types of socks. We have the lightweight and the heavyweight. Both of these are great for all winter long, but with winter on the way, temperatures dropping, getting the heavyweight, this one's a bit thicker, and there's some really cool things about this sock that make it perfect for boots. So this is 53% Ironside merino wool. It's a special type of wool. It is very warm, very comfortable. We have a 10-year durability guarantee, and part of the reason why we can do that, because we actually use nylon reinforcement. This is just the heavyweight. We have this also in the lightweight, just on the heel and the toe. The heavyweight has it all the way throughout the whole bottom of the foot. Basically, this is nylon reinforcement. If it was straight wool, this would wear out in a couple weeks, but because this is nylon reinforced, it doesn't rip, it doesn't tear. Nylon is super abrasion resistant. Anyway, make a long story short, we used to only have black in the heavyweight. Now we also have gray. If you're looking for something a little bit thinner, a little bit more light, if you have sweaty feet, then I recommend the Camel City Mill lightweight. We also have that in black and this charcoal gray. That Truman Boot Company Woolly Bully version of Truman's 79 Last on a Christie wedge sole comes out the day this video is released. Now, if you're a wide-footed fellow, the double E widths should be out later in the week as well. This is an SB Foot Tanning Company light sand colored rough out. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it's the same Hawthorne Abilene leather that Red Wing launched on their classic mock for this past spring and summer 2023. In any case, SB Foot rough out, it's some of the best in the biz, and I think this type of leather is going to look really special with just a few months of wear. Also coming out the day this video is released is a Red Wing Heritage collab with the artist Gary Stranger. Gary Stranger is a famous graffiti artist that does some pretty extraordinary typographic style murals. This collab is basically the Red Wing classic mock with Oro Legacy leather with a Gary Stranger brand on the ankle. Plus, you get a signed print of the same Scenic Roots design with the boots. This is an extremely limited edition. It only has 25 pairs available, which for Red Wing size is super limited. I think it's a super cool idea, but given Red Wing's manufacturing capabilities, I think they could have gone a little more unique beyond just like their most popular common boot with a unique brand on it. But regardless, it is awesome to see artists come into the boot world for some special limited edition boots like this. That's something the watch world's been doing for a long time, and I love seeing it more with boots. Hopefully we see some more unique types of boots in the future. Viberg has a new Goodyear welted 3-eyed chukka called the Uplands boot in 3 rich CF Stead waxy commander leathers. 3-eyed chukka sounds like a card you would play in Magic the Gathering, but besides that, the Upland boot is built on the same 2030 last as Viberg's most popular service boot option. True to Viberg style, it's got superb finishing with a beautiful kip lining, a French binding, the whole thing. This is a great all-weather chukka. I still don't trust chukkas in rain and snow, but this would be the one. Unmarked released their flashy Torino boot in black bison leather. This Chelsea boot is definitely more of a Western style, and it's a bit flashy for my tastes. However, one of the most popular Chelsea boots in the world is the YSL, or like the Yves Saint Laurent boot. To me, that's way overpriced. But if you've got hair like Russell Brand, then you can pull off this look. The Unmarked boot, it's an exceptional value. It's way better than the YSL boot. Still, the look is not for me, but this particular boot is a good boot nonetheless. Huckberry's dropped a few boots this past week. First is more of a utilitarian style boot. They collaborated with the rubber boot maker Extra Tough to update and overbuild Extra Tough's old school commercial fishing boots. Now, I actually had a chance to try Extra Tough boots, and they are legit quite comfortable, and since they're rubber, they're totally waterproof, and that is like, I think if you're going waterproof, just get a rubber boot. Now, this is a really cool collaboration for the rainy season. Huckberry also teamed up with Whites for a wedge sole engineer boot. Based on some comments I read, the Huckberry crowd, they just weren't ready for that Whites price tag. From what I could see, it looks like this is built with what's called a lineman shank, which is basically like a skived half leather midsole. The JKOT's got something like that too. That gives you added arch support, White's also uses a leather shank as well, and it leads to more durability in the heel. It's got a nice rough out heel counter cover, and you know with White's, you're getting exceptional build quality. Personally, I don't really like the look of a wedge sole on an engineer boot at all, but I bet it's comfortable and super supportive. And you know it's gonna last a really long time, so great for riding motorcycles. I mean, that's why they made it. It's overshirt time. So Taylor Stitch just dropped their Connor shirt, which is a corduroy fabric in camel and burgundy. It's a good looking shirt and an awesome way to add some texture to your outfit. But the real exciting stuff here is from the re-release of Taylor Stitch's Moto jacket. Just look at this thing. This is made by Golden Bear in San Francisco with a nice 3.5 ounce steer hide leather. A lot of leather jackets, they're made with lambskin, which has a tighter grain and it's more supple. But to me, this steer hide, that's the way to go. It's a little rougher. It's probably gonna look a bit stiffer straight away, but it's all about how it's gonna look a few months down the road or like in the next season, you know, when you get that just like beautiful broken in look of a jacket that looks like you've been living in it. Division Road still has their Whites collab going on strong with their semi-dress boot in brown wax flesh leather and their lace-to-toe cutter in cinnamon wax flesh. Beyond those, Division Road is woolen out with new Motive Manufacturing coats, trousers, and vests. Now, if you wear a vest, can you let me know why down in the comments below? I am genuinely curious. Haven't worn a vest since I was like in 2nd grade, I think. Not saying it's bad, just curious. If you missed my recent poll here on YouTube asking if people had to choose between Truman Boots, Grant Stone, Parkhurst, and Oak Street bootmakers, here are the results. With over 900 responses, Grant Stone came out on top with 55% of respondents choosing them. Truman followed up with 30%, and then Oak Street and Parkhurst, they were both at 7%. If you'd like to see my full video breakdown of my experiences with these boot companies, you can watch that video right here.